Davis, welcome to the latest episode, and then I say the last episode of Cut to the Chase for 2021.
Another year round the sun, Diego, and we're, 1 week away from celebrations, and may you take more out of our coal than it takes out of you.
And what a year it's been, Davis. Up and downs, mostly ups, really. But, it's learnings. And today we're going to talk about a couple of things that me and you have sort of taken on from this year. And it's not been all rosy, right? It's been a good year for real estate. But hey, I'll tell you what, there's been up and downs for everyone across the country and Auckland and everywhere else.
Oh, yeah, people, you never stop learning. I think the biggest takeaway for me in 2021, the percentage of stock that come to the market, the number of auctions doubled, right, nationally across New Zealand. So the consumer, the seller and the buyer were getting more used to auction because no one truly knows where the prices are. Easy in a rising market, right? No one wants to leave any discretionary dollars behind. And what I saw was a proliferation in brought forward auctions, withdrawn and sold auctions. So the buyers have getting savvy to, okay, they know the full gambit of what auction is. It can be sold prior, it can be withdrawn from the market and sold, it can be sold on auction day. So there's a real maturity around that is what I noticed with auctions and selling real estate this year. What about you?
Well, tell me one thing, Davis, before I get to myself. Tell me one thing that you've learned this year, a challenge or an obstacle, something you had to overcome or, get better at.
Well, I think, a wise man knows very little and only a fool knows everything. So it's easy to get good at your craft. I've won a few auction competitions. I've done 7,500 auctions. It's easy to fall into the trap of going, I'm really, really good. And then you have those little moments to go, hang on, I'm not as good as I thought. So that's been the key for me now. A wise man knows very, very little. So you've got to keep on learning. Otherwise, someone's going to cut your lunch. And I'm seeing that already.
You remember you change your voicemail every now and then, and one of them at the start of the year, and I remember because I always quote it, only the mediocre are at their best.
Yeah.
Stuck into my head.
Because you had that example too. I remember there was a little bit of a flat spot there where you sort of said, Davis, I've missed 3 or 4 or 5, like you missed a number of listings all in a row, right?
Yeah. It was, I think it was towards the start of the year, and I think it was more than a few. And it was, when you get those 2 or 3 weeks where you do a lot of listing presentation, 2 or 3 a day, and at the end of the 2 or 3 weeks, you've got 2 or 3 listing signs, and you're like, bugger, what am I doing wrong? I'm the best. I'm the number 1 in the country. Forgot about that. And then all of a sudden you go like, okay, doing the same thing is just not going to work. So I had to get back to study and improve myself, talk to yourself, talk to, a few out of my mentors, go back to the gym, real estate gym and other things. And because, you get complacent,
Oh, yeah. You think you've earned the right. You think you've earned the right to go, you know what? I'm good. So everyone's just going to give me their business. I'm number 1 like you in New Zealand. I deserve your business. No, you don't, sunshine. You've got in the door because you're good. Now tell me how good you are. So, yeah, perfect time of the year to reevaluate. Like for me in 2022, bringing on a full-time administrator in my auction business, to support agents, that digital profiling, got to keep on adding value to the transaction. So, yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in 2022? Because we don't have a crystal ball, right? But hey, we both have got a pretty good opinion on the market and the view.
50% of my predictions are always right. So, what I've noticed, December, record listings throughout New Zealand. It's about 35 to 40% increase in stock than what we had like 6 weeks ago. That's a big jump. Now, clearly, the success rate's not as high, but properties are still selling. So you're still going to get all that residual stock next year. People are thinking that the market's, I don't know, whatever's going to happen. I don't think the market's going to take off next year, and I hope I'm wrong with that prediction. But there's still going to be a lot of stock in January. So, man, the savvy agents are going to know in real time what properties are selling for. So I think in January, February next year, there's a lot of people that are going to remember when you got started in real estate, how you were their second choice? They would miss and you'd pick it up the second time. There's going to be a lot more of that. And the agents who are savvy in real time, know what property is selling for, can help their owners move on. But if they're living in the past, hello, things are going to get tough for them. What about you, Diego?
Well, I think what's happening next year has started already. And I think it's important that if you got listing, and I've got a lot of listing that I don't think they will sell before Christmas. And I'm an optimist like you. The tough conversation has started already, or should have started. And if you haven't had those conversations yet, it's time to start them now, because then you're going to be ahead of it. Because getting listing, me and you talk about it with my team this week, getting listing next year is not going to be the challenge. The challenge is getting it sold. And it starts from what we got now on our books. So tough conversation. What do you say? You always say that I used to be Santa and now I'm the, what's the expression you use?
Say that again. I used to be what?
No, you always say to our vendors, a few months ago, I used to be Santa Claus, and now.
Oh, yeah. I used to feel like Santa Claus, but now I feel like the Grim Reaper, because the buyers are not riding down streets on white horses, throwing money at neighbors. Or, you can have a bit of fun around that. And it's focusing on, hey, you've made a lot of money, you've had good capital gain. Don't be upset about giving away a little bit to be sold. But if you're living in the past, you'll probably, all those scripts and dialogues we'll touch on next year. But agents like ourselves, auctioneers, we've got to be courageous in 2022 and letting people know the facts so they can move on with their lives. That's for sure.
Davis, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think we are at episode 22, 23. What a year it's been. To all our supporters and watchers and viewers, thank you very much. It's been an interesting journey, right, Davis?
Absolutely. And may you take more out of alcohol at Christmas time than it takes out of you.
Do some relaxing, enjoy yourself, and give it one more push, because we got a few more days before Christmas. So don't stop until it stops. Keep pushing it. All right.
Ciao, ciao.